Go New York, go New York, go! On to the second round. Let's talk about it. And well, welcome back to New York Sports Wicker Media. I'm Y2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. Man, oh man, I can't believe it. The New York Knicks have advanced to the second round of the playoffs for just the second time in 20 years. Unbelievable. Their third, I believe it's their third playoff series win in this century. Just unbelievable. The Knicks finish off the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland by a final score of 106-95, a game where they never even trailed. Unbelievable. The Knicks were steadily ahead for the majority of this game, proving they were the better team, proving they were the deeper team, and proving they were the better coach team. I'd like to throw that part in as well. But the biggest difference probably in this series was the rebounding. The Knicks absolutely cleaned Cleveland's clocks on the glass in this series. Game 5, they out-rebounded them 48-30, including, if you look at the offensive rebound numbers, oh my gosh, 17 for the Knicks, only 4 for Cleveland. Let's put it in perspective. Mitchell Robinson, and oh my goodness, you talk about the breakout player of this series, it's the big man. Mitchell Robinson, 11 offensive rebounds by himself. Compare that to Cleveland. Jarrettallen and evanmobley, who I was concerned about these guys in this series. You know, I was worried about Mitch getting into foul trouble, which he's prone to do, and these guys cleaning up on the glass. These two combined for 13 rebounds total. Mitch nearly lapped them in just offensive rebounds. 2 players. Just absolutely crazy. Robinson in this game, 13 points, 18 rebounds, 3 block shots, 2 steals. You know what? I know he'd been very vocal, and I was critical of him when he was putting these cryptic messages out on social media. He wanted to be a bigger part of the offense, and he's being underutilized. You know what? He was utilized a pretty good amount last night, especially once Juliusrandle went out for the game with a re-aggravated ankle injury. But man, I'm so pleased with Mitchell Robinson. I'm so glad that they signed him to a contract, because there aren't too many players like him in today's NBA. A legit rim protector who can absolutely clean the glass up. I mean, there were several rebounds where it was just him and 3 other Cavaliers, but Mitch always seemed to be in the right position and always seemed to grab the rebound. Just an unbelievable job by Mitchell Robinson in this series, and especially in this game. And also, we got to talk about some of these different players. It was a very balanced scoring attack from the Knicks. 7 Knicks put in double figures, led by Jalenbrunson with 23 points. Didn't have his best shooting game of the series, but he outplayed Donovan Mitchell in this series. Oh, and speaking of Donovan Mitchell, can we go back in time about almost a year now? That trade. There was a little trade that went down, you know, between Cleveland and the Utah Jazz, where Utah sent Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland in exchange for, let's see, Lauri Markkanen, the most improved player in the NBA, recently voted on this past week. Colin Sexton, in my mind, I love him, excellent point guard. Ochai Agbaji, I'm probably butchering his name, but it is what it is. 3 unprotected first-round picks and 2 first-round pick swaps for 1 player. Donovan Mitchell, who, I'm sorry, out of game 2, stunk in this series. Donovan Mitchell got schooled by Jalenbrunson, and I guarantee you, the New York Knicks are definitely not regretting not making that trade. Because what would the Knicks equivalent what would that have looked like? You know, RJ Barrett, maybe Mitch Robinson, a Quentin Grimes, a Deuce McBride, somebody like that. It would have taken quite a bit. And if they had Mitchell, there's a good chance they may not have Jalenbrunson. And you can give me Jalenbrunson over Donovan Mitchell any day of the week. But I want to give some credit here to RJ Barrett. After Game 2, I was very critical of him. A lot of Knicks fans were as well. Well, he really raised his game over these last 3 contests. In Game 5 alone, he scored 21 points and was a plus 21. So the Knicks were 21 points better with him on the floor. That is crazy good. And if you look at the last 3 games, 22 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and shooting 56% from the floor. RJ Barrett has not been a great shooter in his career, but he has gotten better and better. Is he really growing up? Is he taking his game to another level? Not asking him to be the star of the team, but could he now be a legitimate number 3 option? A reliable 3 option. Brunson right now is in my mind the 1. Julius Randle is the 2 if he's healthy. If Barrett can become reliably consistent, that can make such a difference for the Knicks. But also Julius Randle, 13 points in 16 minutes. He was starting to turn it on a little bit before he did go down with the ankle injury. Josh Hart, he may have had the best 4-point, 12-rebound game in the history of basketball. Shooting wasn't on, but again, so many times when he would grab a rebound, you didn't even see him, but boom, he just flashes on the screen out of nowhere, grabs the rebound, or appears in the picture. He's just got a suddenness about him that just makes the Knicks fun to watch. I'm not a big NBA watcher nowadays. I don't love the style of the game, but I would watch Josh Hart play basketball for sure. And Emmanuel Quigley, he finally had a big game in the series. 19 points in 29 minutes. That was a very encouraging sign. IQ had really struggled the first 4 games. Glad he was better. If you look at Cleveland, Dariusgarland, 16 points, evanmobley, 14 points, but there was really no Cavalier player in my mind who really did what they had to do. I felt the Cavs, the only time they were really playing well is when Dariusgarland was playing well. He had a great game 2. I think it was game 3. He had one really good quarter as well. I think it was the third quarter when they were making a little comeback. I think it was game 4, actually. It was game 4. Yeah, when they were making a little comeback. But I thought Garland really underachieved in this series. I just thought it was a very disappointing job by him. But you know what? That's all behind us. And now the New York Knicks, if you can believe it, already know who their opponent is in the second round. The series starts Sunday, and the series starts not on the road, but at home at the world's most famous arena in the Mecca in Madison Square Garden against their old friends, the Miami Heat. Bring back some 90s basketball for me. I want the 90s vibes. I want Van Gundy and Riley. I want Ewing against Mourning. I want Starks against Marley. Oakley against P.J. Brown. Give it all to me. Give it all. Give it all. I want all of it. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be something else. So, and I got to say this about that other game last night, too. First of all, Miami and Milwaukee starting at 8:30. Both of these games being on the NBA Network, an absolute disgrace. For these games to not be on ESPN, the Turner Networks, I know it's a lot to do right now with hockey, and it's hard to fit everything on, on those networks. But NBA TV? Come on, ABC, can we clear out a night and put these games on so that everybody can watch? NBA TV for these pivotal games? That Miami-Milwaukee game was one of the best basketball games I've seen in a while. And let me say this. I'm going to say something a little bit controversial, but I don't care. Giannis, he ain't all that. I wasn't impressed with what I saw. I'm sorry. 10 for 23 from the free throw line in a game that goes to overtime. How do you... 10 of 23. This isn't Shaquille O'Neal where that would be acceptable. I did not. I know he shot about 50% from the field, but there were just so many times down the stretch in the fourth quarter of this game where I felt he had a chance to really take it over, and he didn't. So many times. Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, he put that team on his back. Bam Adebayo, Kevin Love made a lot of threes. Kyle Lowry's a good reserve point guard at this point in his career. But Butler, oh my gosh. The Knicks are the first thing they have to do is figure out a defensive strategy to contain Jimmy Butler. In these 5 games, he scored this number of points: 35, 25, 30, 56, and 42. And for him to make that shot to force overtime with half a second left on the clock, I have no idea how he was able to pull that off. Now, I'll tell you, this Heat team, they're a low seed. They're the first team ever to win a series from the play-in game, like an actual series in the NBA playoffs. But they're a tough, resilient, scrappy bunch. And the Knicks better get up early on them, because one thing we've seen with the Knicks, they show that they've got a killer instinct. If they get ahead, they have a chance to really put their foot on your throats. They're going to do it. So Sunday, Knicks, Heat. You know what, Knicks fans? Why not dream of what could be? Philly and Boston most likely is what it's going to be, although, Atlanta's still kicking around. Philly's resting up. Joel Embiid has an opportunity to rest his injuries. Boston's got to go down and finish Atlanta in Game 6. They're going to try to do that. Man, can you imagine, Knicks against either the Celtics or the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals? Man, this is about as exciting a time there has been to be a Knicks fan since, I would say, 1999. Since the 1999 NBA run to the NBA Finals. But, man, I'm so impressed. The Knicks proved me wrong. I'll say it. I'm happy. I picked Cavs in 7. I thought the big men would be a lot to handle, and I thought Donovan Mitchell would be a hell of a lot better than he turned out to be. And I didn't expect RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson to be as prolific as they were. And Josh Hart, did I say anything about Josh Hart? Did I tell you I love Josh Hart? I love Josh Hart. Oh, he's so good. Isaiah Hartenstein, I want to give him a whole lot of credit. Every time he was on the floor, he made a difference. His rebounding, his shooting, his hustle, he did so much so well. Great defense. And the Cavs let him get away. The Cavs let Isaiah Hartenstein go for nothing. Leon Rose, Scott Perry, they grabbed these guys. They put together this roster, and it's as good a roster the Knicks have had in 2 decades. I want to give them props. Coach Tom Thibodeau, he has silenced his haters. He'll always have a few doubters because he's old and he's stubborn and he's curmudgeon-y. But man, oh man, does he get his players to play for him. I just want to give credit to everybody. I'm just so happy right now. Bring on the second round. Bring on Miami. I'm pumped up. I can't wait to watch. Thanks everybody for watching. And hey, if you're new here, please like and subscribe. Check out my other content. And if you're returning, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody's support. I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where? The Wicker Chair.